All right. Just letting the stream bandwidth stabilize a little bit. So welcome on back. Always seems like a challenge kicking off the stream from the top of the mountain here. Seems like it's okay now for the moment. So we are getting back to Battle Brothers. This is a Legends and PTR modded playthrough. We are doing a little homage to Glenn Cook's The Black Company books, which are a series that I've been advised onto from finishing up a bunch of books by Joe Abercrombie, who I would highly recommend for grim, dark style fantasy books. And after doing some research for similar authors, came across Glenn Cook. It's kind of interesting so far, but his um, books cover the saga of the Black Company, who we have adopted into our playthrough. We're naming our characters after them as long as they survive these two battles. And working with a deserter start. So we have a party of 8 at this point. We've been doing fairly well. The PTR perk tree seems pretty strong, where next time I do a playthrough on this, I may want to tune up the difficulty higher to try to balance for it, because I feel fairly powerful for the point in the game. We are on day 23 and have traversed a fair portion of the map. Because we're deserters, we're enemies with this kingdom to the north here, which we've traveled through as we move around, discovering territory on the unexplored map. We most recently picked up a melon barker, Geralt the Melon Mugger. He's a thief who's fragile and faint hearted. Welcome to the company of cowards. And we'll give him a name if he makes it and kills at least a few people. I think we're going to make that. You need to make it to level 2 in order to get a Black Company name. And right now we're just on a path of discovery and strengthening. We have an ambition to kill roving beasts. And we're going to go about trying to find the same. I think in this article or this episode, we're going to try to head back north and take on some of the. Now you're not getting audio for the game. Now we should be. Yep, very likely. And I think we're going to try to get back to the north, raid some caravans, since we're hostile with that fairly large empire to the north. For now, we're just going to explore a little bit, try to find as much information as we can about this new kingdom that we've just encountered. We are enemies with House Ulbrich. We're discovering a little bit of House Rumult, and we're going to see what we can find as we go deeper into their territory. We also found one of the southern cities, and I would imagine that there's going to be routes to the others. Should we follow the direction here? That's interesting. We have an enemy trading caravan, and we have a party of nomads. Be a little bit interesting if we assault them after they're done killing the caravan, if we pick up trade goods. There's 11 of them, but they're mostly indebted, and I think we can likely take them on. This will be good practice. I just want to make sure we're all equipped. Welcome back, Jackie. one of the returning viewers of the channel. It looks like you might be having some nightly dessert. I'm going to guess peanut butter on something, but that's just my intuition. So let's see if we can take them on while they're still in this state. Yep, we can. So to battle. I think we're going to advance a bit here. They have us slightly outnumbered, but we should have much better equipment. I think we're going to want to take the high ground. This is our new melon farker, who's under equipped and fairly poorly equipped. We're going to try to keep him probably out of the mix for now. We'll see how that goes. Get Croaker, our crossbowman, up to high ground. Get a shot off on the indebted that was in range. We have Darling. He's a Fletcher and a Boyer. We're going to hold off and see if we can get a better shot once they get closer. We also have Hagop. We're going to do the same. See if they can go close distance a little bit. We're going to move Goblin up. I don't know. I think we're going to spear wall based on the idea that they should advance faster on us because we are deserters. We get to go first every turn, but it's unlikely that we'll go first again in the second round. I think getting to the high ground is probably more important here than getting off an attack. So we're simply going to move up. We're going to establish Tom Tom on the other side of that large tree. Get Elmo up to the high ground. And we'll see how things go. These guys seem fairly unprepared to face us. Being mostly daggers. 2 slingers. I think we're going to move Gerald down to support that flank. We get off a second shot. Bandwidth seems kind of poor. Later, Jackie. Nice seeing you again. Reload. We're going to try to get this flanker. We miss him. We're going to keep Goblin in spear wall. We'll similarly give Gerald spear wall. Check something here. Audio feels. I was getting double audio from monitoring it. Y'all should still hear it though. Let's switch over to One Eye's arming sword. Decapitate that fella. We're going to use Darling to get 2 shots. No, we don't need 2 shots. We're going to take higher ground instead of taking a second obstructed shot. Got Elmo with his javelins. 2 kills. Nice. These guys with the pickaxes are probably the most dangerous to us because of the armor penetration. We also have 1 dog to release that we will once we've had a little more chance to create some damage here. I think we're going to try to weaken their slingers. Oh, no luck. I believe Goblin gets automatic spear wall from his PTR perks. Going to keep Gerald spear walling. One Eye is pretty deadly with his arming sword. Attacking their melee characters. I think they've just learned that they're in the wrong fight. Take an aim shot at this indebted. Since he was probably the most dangerous remaining guy. Charge. Not sure what our odds of catching anybody is, but we do have dog we can release from Hackup. We may engage them and cause some trouble. I'm going to try to run them down. Get a little bit more loot and gear. Keep moving forward, trying to get ourselves in a position in case we're able to get a quick kill and take out the second guy. Don't want to unnecessarily hit anybody with archer shots. Keep the line. I don't think we're going to catch that last guy. Threw sand into Goblin's eye. Gonna surround him. See if we'll break his morale. Guy is pretty brave for being surrounded by a group of guys that's going to kill him. I think we're going to end the combat and let that guy run off. Successful foray. We didn't pick up any trade goods. Would have been kind of nice if they were holding them, but some decent loot and a bit of provision. Seems like we are getting back into Southern territory. We got any level ups there? We're going to keep on following this to the south. Down the road, bridges to the east and west. I'm going to assume these are routes to southern cities. A lot of battle sites, which could have all been that large group of nomads. It's like a more northern town, fortifications of Hawkwall. See what we have to deal with. We have a weaponsmith and an armorer. See if there's anything decent that bled over into the marketplace. Nothing great as far as armor. We have Geralt, who is pretty much under-equipped because we picked him up from an event after we had dumped most of our equipment. Might be useful to get him that warfork so that he can be a pole armsman for the moment. Check his stats. Yeah, he's got decent melee. This is another powerful perk we picked up early on by visiting a legendary shipwreck. That gives us 50 crowns a day, which helps overall the longevity of our cash flow. I think rather than sell a lot of this cheap stuff, we may just want to recycle the next time we camp. You look at what kind of characters are available for hire here. Witch Hunter is probably the only interesting one there, but it would take all our cash. So that's not going to happen. Take a look inside the armor. A decent piece of headgear that might be useful to pick up. We also have these helmets that we could add on top. Take a look at our helmet situation right now. It'd be useful to get both our spearmen's chainmail helmet bases. We could upgrade him as well by giving him a nasal helmet. Only one decent cheap piece of armor, but we could go 385 and get the mail coists as well. It's not bad. I think we're going to mostly concentrate on upgrading TomTom's headgear here. Gonna get him the chainmail hood and a nasal helmet. Drop his turban. And then layer that on top. That should move him about double his head armor. Give the melon mugger Bullington. I'm going to go ahead and also jump to the marketplace. Pick the weaponsmith first. It's pretty pricey for our current funds. Thing looks awesome. I think we're going to take that Warfork and make him a pole armor. Make him a little more useful. Plus, we have a perk on Croaker that improves him if he's next to a melee character. Entrenched. Yeah, he gets 7 range skill and +2 every turn if he's next to a melee weapon character who's not engaged. PTR perks seem really powerful, maybe even a little overly so. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to worry about salvage right now. We have enough equipment to sell off just everything. It's of a higher price point. Food's decent, but a lot of it's going to spoil soon. Bread here is pretty cheap, as is the grain. You're going to pick up a grain and a bread. And we're going to follow the road to the south and see if we find another southern kingdom. Perhaps some more nomads to kill. Mostly in the interest of just discovering as much of the map as we can. Bakar Gilder. Get there nightfall. So weaponsmith, armor, couple of 2-tier contracts. They have ambush trade routes, so their goods are going to be kind of expensive. They have spices, which might be good to haul back north, get them for a better price by making friends and doing some contracts. A chainmail hood could also be decent. It's southern padded shirt. We have 2. I like that padded shirt is a good bit better than the padded leather. I like 25 armor. Better than MLR too. How much was it? 600. Pretty good bite out of our cash flow. Could be useful to get the melon farker, some better base layer. 380. It's about a third of what our cash is right now. Take a look at the contracts we have available. We find a few councilmen and aldermen of Zahir al-Haddad of Fakar-Jildur, the resident Visor. They approach you with a document stamped with his emblem. We shall soon be off to Altenhof with a caravan of goods. The city guard refused to aid us in defending our wares. However, we are still beneath the gilder's eye, and our pockets are full of shine. We'll pay you, Crownling, to help us to get to our destination for the next 2 days. Crowns are we talking about? Rest assured you get 60 in advance and 240 when it's done. 2-day trip. Alder. I want some money per head. You get 30 crowns in advance, 10 per head, 15 heads at most, 200 when it's done. Going to accept. We need to go to Altenhof, 2 days north. Need some time to think about that because I think we might have to go through enemy territory. Secondary contract. Vizu bin Hazam, the Visor of War, is partly sitting on a throne of silken cushions and partly on the bodies of a harem of attractive women. He puts his hand up. If you step further, Crownling, then you will grow in sight but diminish in view, understand? A smart man knows his place. I have a simple task for your sword hand. Nomads outside of Fakar-Jildur have taken to thievery and thuggery. For a handsome hansel, I need you to annihilate these men who have made my life uncomfortable. Let's talk about payment. Yes, good. I was thinking about the payment for your task earlier. You'll get 930 crowns when the contract is done. Seems like a decent payout, not worth risking negotiating for more, since we don't know this guy. We're going to accept that offer, drive off the Nomads at the Desert Raider outpost to the north. We're going to accept that contract, and when we get back, we'll try to possibly take the... Where did this was the all other contract going to send us? I think it was Altenhof. Started with an A though. Possible that it's off in this direction, which wouldn't take us through enemy territory. I don't think Altenhof rings a bell as being hostile to us. Whatever the name of that thing was, we'll know more later. But for now, I think we are going to grab a Gambison for Melon Man, just to make him a little more resilient in case we are fighting archers. Otherwise, we have enough equipment to go off and take the Nomad camp. Head in that direction, see if we get there by morning. Just for an FYI, I do post these videos both to VOD on Twitch, where they remain for a period of time. I think it's a month. But we also send them up to YouTube. And there's some playlists on YouTube of earlier playthroughs. We got many Nomad cut-throughs and a few slingers. This is an Iron Man playthrough, so every decision is kind of final. But in this case, we need the cash to get back north anyways. We're going to go ahead and attack. I'll make sure everybody's equipped the way that I want them. And into battle we go. Twelve on 8. They have 2 slingers. A couple of shielded guys. A lot of macemen. We should be okay. We got a choke point here that we could try to take control of. Could be useful to get one of our spearmen there and spear walled up. We're going to hold with Croaker. Get off a couple long shots with Darling. We're going to hold with all three of our archers, let them close a little bit. And our pikemen, although it's not a good pike. So, gonna move up here, trying to get this cutthroat cleared so we can use our javelins as well. The plan worked out so far. Shots into their guy that flank. And move Geralt behind. Also spear wall. And we get awesome javelins. Go after their slingers. Go after their cutthroats coming around this flank. Which could be good. We don't really want them to get too much of an advantage by getting around the line. But unfortunately, Goblin misses. Elmo. Let's see if we can kill this guy. Don't have any such luck. Miss with our spear wall. That was unfortunate. We're going to keep spear walled by Goblin. Wait to see if he gets overcome and can attack. So we are getting flanked pretty hard here on the lower flank. See if we can clear some of the inside guys. That'll free up Agop to also get some shots off. Move him up. It probably wasn't the best spot because of the obstructions to his fire. I'm trying to get a shot on this obstructed guy. Didn't work out. We're going to release the Hound. We may lose the Hound. Would have been nice to get some armor for him. There's most of his armor. Tauntaun's getting flanked pretty hard. Dog gets a bleed on that cutthroat. We are getting after the melon farker. An advanced goblin. Try to help the dog survive. Berber takes 2 hits. Got some really accurate slingers that round. We'll switch over to melee. And take the less armored. Two cutthroats. We got 2 kills. Nope. Advance. And we break the beginnings of the line there. I'm going to move forward. We'll still get off an attack. Gets past his shield. Agop is free for firing. Let's see if we can get this. We almost got him. We injured his shoulder. Tom hit off on that Nomad. Melon Farker was stunned. Tom could be in trouble here. Probably should have shield bashed him to try to clear that shield wall. Darling misses. Takes a hit in return and gets stunned. Dog gets a bleed on that Nomad. Gonna jump into the fray here and try to save this flank. Goblin takes some hits. Gravely wounded. We're just going to concentrate on him so that we free up the other troops. Back up. Gets a shot through. Too tired to fire a second. Sometimes gets a little bit of revenge. Drought doesn't do anything. Fancy footwork. I'm going to support attack on this Nomad since he's armed with a scythe. Could be pretty effective. Sneak through a dagger. He's nearly dead. Perfect hit. Cuts his arm. He's damaged pretty deeply now. Don't really have much of a chance to make any of these. Take his best shot. It works out. pretty badly. I can't finish that guy. I'm going to try to take down his shield. Killed from Tom Tom. Could survive. Dog is concentrating on the guys retreating rather than the guys we're fighting. Goblin gets 2 good spear hits though. Alan Farker could be in trouble. We go for this Nomad because he's still got attacks. Could kill Gerald to get final hit. Switch back to crossbow. There goes the melon. He did not make it to gain a name. He is not a name man. I'm gonna charge this guy to cut off his fire. Tom Tom's hurting pretty bad, but I feel confident that he can survive. Got range support there. Darling does some business. I think in this scenario, our dog is kind of smart and it's sticking to the broken nomads. Nice shot by Haggop. Not really certain I want Tom Tom up in the fray, being that his armor is nearly nil. Is not going to cause Goblin much trouble. Advance on all fronts. Nice axeman hit. Going to keep Tom Tom out of range. Dog mauls him a bit. And Darling finishes the job. So we lost Gerald the Melon Mugger. That was unfortunate. He was with the party just 2 days and died in the only battle he took part in. And he was not with the party that long to get that attached. We got some cash, some provisions, some decent equipment. We might want to change over to these Darga shields. So we lost the Melon Mugger. Is anybody upset over that? Yeah, they're a little upset. See what we got. So we have Southern Tunics, Southern Split Gambison. That is better equipment than we had. Good. Canvas 65 and 8. So here. 5 and 8. Gambison. Got a standard Gambison. These guys are running added. Oh no. Kind of hard to tell the difference between the added base and Gambisons. Looks like we're Gambisons across the board, so that's decent. We're going to upgrade our 2 Spearmen to a Darga Shields. We're going to call it good, I think. I'm mark some of these daggers just to have them as recyclable for our next camp. Repair our warfork. We're going to sell our slings. See what kind of price we get for this equipment. Nomad outer robe. This is 30 and 2, 50. All right. Equipment that is useful seems to be now distributed. Let's get back and get our just rewards. We'd get there by right around evening, closer to midday. We try to enter Visor ibn Hazam, the Visor of War's room, but a large scarred guard lowers the business end of a polearm across the door. No visitors. You state that you have business with the Visor. The guard shakes his head. A servant comes up behind you and puts a satchel in your arms, then departs just as fast. The guard returns the polearm to his side. Your trivialities with the Visor concluded when you first departed his presence. You are not to poison his mood any further. Leave now before you poison mine. And we got paid. And the other contract has expired. Kind of unfortunate. Would have been a nice way to pay our way north. Gonna sell the slings because they bring us a little bit of cash. It mildly improved the spice price, but not so much that it's probably worth acquiring. Gonna sell the extra armor. The scythe. We'll recycle the rest. Keep some equipment around. In case we want to pick up a new recruit. Let's take a look at who we might pick up here. We have Ahmad the Dervish. Dervish claims to be a true servant of the gods. Fights in a trance-like state. Several indebted. Caravan hand. Seamstress. Could be interesting. We can certainly afford Ahmad. He's a mixed character. Never seen someone so violent yet calm at the same time. I don't think I've ever had a dervish prior. Thinking that's introduced by one of the mods as a background. I'm gonna try him out to see if we get a look at his skills. He's paranoid. Makes him really damn slow. Tough. And irrational. Has good melee defense and range defense. So, buffed on those. Really don't like that negative 30 initiative. I think we prefer our crew to be faster. Yeah, we're gonna pass. Didn't seem desirable. Take a look in the armor. Back at that marketplace, we have a southern padded shirt. Now it's down to 500. That could improve the padded leather that we have on Tom Tom. He took a fair amount of damage that last battle. I think he deserves, I think he has earned a bit of a bump to his armor. Take him from 155 to 180. Just gonna sell this off for nothing. Just get it out of the inventory. I don't think we need the 2 extra damage shields. We have 97 food. Should be 6 more days. No wounds to treat. We are going to drop into camp here. Just camp till morning. It'll take us 10 hours to heal. We're going to move a guy over there, drop it to 8. 12 hours to repair. Move a guy there. In about 10 hours total, we should be completely healed, completely repaired, and salvage a fair number of equipment. And we're going to send Hag up on patrol. And we'll have Darling some fletching to build up our ammunition. Just stay there till morning, I think, as long as nothing attacks us. I think we've fully healed, fully repaired, fully salvaged. Get moving before dawn breaks. Confirm assumption. Everything should be mostly cleaned out. I like that mechanic of the Legends mod too. The idea of camp. Take it back down to 1 speed. That is likely some nomads. 20 of them. A plethora of indebted. A few nomad slingers. 20 on 7. I know they're going to be under equipped, but they're in large numbers. And when we just killed a party of 11 or so, they actually scuffed us up kind of decent and killed the melon guy. So let's give that a pass for now. We come across a sparse group of nomads arguing with a troop of Visor's men. Between them is another group of what look like the sort of women that would be in the Visor's harem. As you draw near, all sides pause and stare at you. A lieutenant of the Visor's troop waves you off. This does not concern you, Crowdling. But perhaps trying to invite you into the event, the nomads explain that the women consist of indebted, those whose service is owed to another for failures or transgressions. In this case, they owe services to the Visor. However, they have escaped, and the nomads who find the concept of indebtedness to be heresy have taken them in. Hey, Crownling, don't listen to a word of that nomad's poison. And Nomad, these women come with us, or you all die here. So we cannot be involved. We can return the women to the Visor. We can try to free them. I think the nomads are... We're going to give them back to the Visor. You know a good payday when you see one, and by payday you mean an ambassador of a Visor. Drawing your sword, you jump between the nomads and the women, telling the former to back off and return to their deserts. The nomads draw bows and raise spears, but their leader quiets them. No, the interloper has intervened in a manner he finds most suitable, and certainly the Guilder has chosen him as an arbiter in this matter for good reason. Take the women, then, and the dispute is settled. Visor's men gather the harem back into their ranks. A heavy bag is brought to you by the lieutenant. Payment, Crowling. This was not your task, but that does not mean it carries no reward. You have saved these indebted women from the Guilder's hellfire. May your generosity be a constant reminder going forward. Yes? You got 150. Excellent. Take it. Any payment to a mercenary band is a good payment. We have a smaller group of indebted here. Actually was going to cut across here to Altenhof and clear that area of the map. So we're going to move forward to meet them since they're coming to engage. Arps. They have the high ground. They also have 5 slingers and a fair number of pole armormen. Forgot to fix our formation and move Darling behind the lines. We're going to hold. We are going to move her back and hold. Overall hold. We're going to just do a general wait and see what happens. They are going to advance, which should be to our advantage. All right, we're going to try to clear some of these slingers, since they have an overall armed advantage against us. Spear wall with Goblin. a tom-tom. It's like they're going to try to rely on their ranged guys. Nice spear wall. Tom-tom in his fancy new outerwear. A lot of rocks, but no avail. Yeah, use the high ground to assault us. That was what I desired, because it's going to clear our javelin men. I don't think we're going to advance because they're full armament. What we need to do is drop Goblin back, get him out of range of those two high ground full armament. I think he only has one javelin left. We're going to switch him over to melee. Get ready to advance the next turn. Same with One Eye. I think they're going to fall back, but we'll see. We're going to basically charge. Can't make the high ground and get off a shot. Get close to it. That was the first rock that actually got through it. Seems like they're retreating for the most part. I'm going to toss Darling on the high ground or higher and move Hagup up. So that put him in range of the same shot by Darling. Nice long shot. Seems like one gets away. Very limited damage. Use a bit of loot. Maybe some usable armor layers that we want to use. Let's have a look. One thing I wish about this layered armored system is that you could take it apart in the stash. Nomad leather jacket, right-sided wrap. As well throw on the wrap. That's a minimal amount of extra armor. I got this level up. Maybe we're going to do perk-wise. I think 6 to 16 extra damage with this bow. Makes sense. Give him some fatigue, some initiative, and some range. Alright, we're going to continue north. It looks like there might be another group here. Unless they come at us, I don't particularly concerned. We just want to take a chunk out of this unexplored map here. Make our way back to Altenhof. I don't think we've seen one mob of beasts since we got the ambition to kill them. We're like hunt season. The game seems to know when the hunt is afoot. Nothing really interesting in the ways of equipment or goods. If I remember right, there was nobody all that interesting available for hire. I don't think we want to take on 3 crown contracts just yet. I have enough food to make it to the next town. So we want to end up back in hostile territory. About to be nightfall. Gonna go ahead and mark the stuff for salvage. That we're not interested in. Get rid of that. Might as well repair it. Drop in a camp again. Don't really have any injuries to heal. 2 hours of repairs. 9 hours of salvage. We're gonna actually do some gathering then. We're trying to produce. Actually, no. We're gonna do a bit of hunting. And we'll keep scouting going on. We can craft an antidote. That can't hurt. So I'm gonna drop 1 eye into crafting. I think we can pull Croaker off of repairs, and we're going to repair anyways. We're going to go ahead and camp till morning. We got some fresh meat, crafted some ammo, created 10 units of tools, used 3. So in the bonus, time to get moving. And we have a Icolt's trading caravan who seem to be still upset with the fact that we deserted their military. And it's unfortunate that they choose to hold that grudge. To the arms. Some caravan hands, few caravan carts. I still haven't fixed our formation. We'll just let them advance. Really not much in terms of defense there of the cart. Got 2 guys with scrams axes. 2 axemen. We go for the axemen so they don't destroy our shields. Wrong weapon. Made it worthwhile. Goblin is a really effective spear waller. Release the hounds. Took no damage. And nice, we get some lumber, some cooking spices, more meat. So that was successful. Elmo has leveled up. See perks wise what we're going to deliver for him. I am not familiar. This is my first playthrough with PTR, so there's a lot of new perks to consider. Gain a stacking melee skill and melee defense against that opponent. Seems pretty strong. Double strike. After landing a hit, the next hit on the turn does 20% overall damage. Wind Raider. Estimating the path of arrows. Opportunist. Could be nice. Paired with our throwing weapons. Yeah, I think we're going to do Opportunist. That way we can pick up off the battlefield more throwing weapons. Probably should have taken this pattern recognition one because it seems kind of powerful, but we're going to buff both our attack skills. We're going to buff our fatigue. The net for those wasn't great because we do have this back to basic skill. We're going to drop the scram sacks on Goblin as a backup. Although he is a really good spearman. That kind of wet our whistle, I think, for caravan goods. I'm going to go and cut north here, see what we can find in terms of mountain range here. A pathway through. Bell Rope Meadow. I think we want to just sniff the roads around these enemy. Let's go repair. We are. We'll finally move her back behind the line. Feldstadt is hostile in a large city. Probably going to send a fair bit of militia at us if we get too close. We're just going to kind of outskirt some. We're going to see if we can find some attacks of opportunity. Being that we are dastardly, we are not above picking off a plump peasant or two if we get the chance. Let's see what my reputation is. Still just neutral. Because if they're going to be hostile to us, we might as well be hostile to them. Eye for an eye. All right. Heimstad. So where are they out of? All the way up there. Run away. Run away. See if we can get some intel on this as we get closer. Nothing so far. Pack of 8 direwolves. They could be mildly troublesome, but it is a pack of roving beasts, and the first one that we've seen in quite a while. I prefer to fight them in the open. And they are coming after us. So, we'll get them out in the fields and let them come. High ground position on them. I'm not even sure. You're going to have to come up this side to get to us. So let's see what this terrain is like. So we have an approach from this side and an approach from this side on the high ground. We drop a spearman here, then we can spear wall those spots pretty effectively. So I think in that course, we want to get everybody to high ground if we can. Get up so we still get a shot off. Shit. We probably should have spear walled. Twice. Damn it. That was a mistake. Guess we broke one. Nice, that worked out. I'm going to try to bash him, then spear wall. Oh. Not great. Like Tom broke. Try to save Tom here. Not sure where he's going to run to. Nowhere, it looks like. That wasn't good. Broken. I don't think there's anywhere you can get too useful. I think we want to protect Tom. They're gonna retreat. Let's hold and see what we can do. Where are you going? Nowhere. We're gonna hold that position. Oh, dog may go down. That wasn't great. Where are you running, dude? We are winning. I'm a little worried our dog's not going to survive this encounter. We're going to surround that. Not bad. That's great. You think that went through? Can't get off a good shot from there. Oh, kind of dangerous. There we go. We broke the last one. Where are you going? I'm going to kill you. Tom barely took any damage and he ran. He ran. Not terrible. We get 1 pelt out of 8 wolves. Doesn't seem all that equitable. Some strange meat. We have one of our ambition filled. I'll try to see if we tell if that party is still coming to get us. I would like to get back to the north a bit. Like that's them there. Those are rather old tracks. It looks like they bailed. We could get killed kind of easily, I think, if they were to find us wandering through these little hills at night. Would not go super near the road unless we see something worth picking. The bandit life for thee. And I think our goal is to get back up towards Tavern Moose and perhaps do some jobs against the Northmen. We got some tracks on the road up there. Looks small, looks like maybe peasants. We haven't ever gone unholds. I don't know if we want to mess with unholds. I don't feel like we have the collective power to do so. One thing we haven't done is explore to the west here and determine what we have going. We have 5 days of provisions. Quite a bit of that is going to spoil. These tracks look a little old. As we walk along the roads, a throng of ragged-looking men speed past you. They clear off the path and jump down the embankment and hide behind a wall of bushes. With the shrubbery still swaying, another group of men soon appears. Before the first man even speaks, you already know what's coming. Apparently, some laborers had agreed in union to abandon a project over what the pursuing overseers simplify as issues. They ask if you've seen these ne'er-do-wells. Right over there. The overseers nod and draw clubs and pitchforks and even some nets. They scramble off the road and converge onto the bushes like a bunch of raiders would a wagon. It's a wild, though one-sided fight. Men are beaten and battered like fish in a bush. Even far up the hillside, you can hear the unmistakable clonking of wood on skull. You see one man fatally stabbed with a spear, perhaps the resolution of a conflict of a somewhat more personal matter. When the battle ends, the head overseer returns to you, a line of prisoners behind him, looking rather worse for the wear. He hands you a purse of coins, clapping you on the shoulder and thanking you for keeping order. Using 50 crowns. We are mercenaries. We work for pay. I think because we are a fair amount of our food going to rot, that we want to kind of skim through. Oop, there we go. Many caravan hands in a caravan cart. I think we're in mostly decent condition. We do have an upgrade on one eye to throw. Let's see what we got there. You could get that pattern recognition perk. Tempo sounds kind of powerful too. %75% chance to stun and stagger any opponent missing a melee attack against this character in retaliation. That seems... Freedom of movement, melee and melee defense are increased by 10% of your maximum fatigue after gear. Bonus drops exponentially when wearing headed body armor with a total penalty to maximum fatigue greater than -15. I think that return favor. Escape artists grants a baseline medicine, rooting effects of some nets. Every time an opponent attacks you, or you attack an opponent, gain a stacking melee skill and melee defense. I think this retaliation, return favor, seems super powerful for a frontline guy. We're going to take a buff to ranged. It will be reduced because of the back to basics. We'll take a buff to melee defense and a buff to fatigue. case we pick somebody up that can wear it. All right, trading caravan. I don't think many caravan hands are going to hold up for long. To arms, boys. They have no ranged attacks. We're going to let them come. I don't have any double full arms. We'll take spaces of attack. 4, 6, 9. Only one card. I'm going to drop into Spear Wall. Yeah, looks like a Militia Glaive on both of these guys. And an Axeman. Spread around a little wealth. That was interesting. I'm going to try to clear that guy so we can get some more shots before they advance. Break Tom Spear Wall. Goblin seems to be a much more talented spearman. Not coming through. We need you, boys. Oh, that's an active perk. I thought that would be a passive perk. Just decapitation. Goblin's deadly spear wall. Keep it going. Use some shots, guys. Darling breaks them with a nice clean kill. Is he broken too? He is not. All the loot shall be ours. Ooh, ingots, peat, cooking spices, furs. All right, all right, all right. And a bunch of fruit. Better daggers than a couple of our guys have. Mostly useless armor. Thank you kindly. Perhaps you should forgive your deserting troops, and they would not cause you so much trouble on the roads. Add a bunch more to our queue for dismantling. Let's have a look at Croker's upgrades. Iron sights, dual tinkering, ranged attack with crossbows and firearms have an additional 25% chance to hit the head. Bloodlust. Turn favor. Double strike. Pattern recognition. I think we're going to give him a headshot perk. I like the idea. Buff him on ranged. Ranged defense. Give him a bit more. All right. The party is faring pretty well. We have a bit more space to fill. Some of this stuff's going to rot out. Got a lot of loot to unload. We could run up here and make it a little more dangerous. Or we can head to... We're going to head to Tavern Moose and see if we run into anybody along the way. Go out into the woods and open up our know-how of the map a little bit more. Lots of necro servants. No thank you. I think in this entire game, which I have, there's a road down here we haven't explored. In this entire game, which I have over 1,000 hours in, probably more. I think I've only beaten like a necro servant group once or twice. Perhaps that is a deficiency in my playstyle. Lots of signs of battle. There's a large group right here. What do you think it is? Goblins? See if we can spot it before we get into the trees. Another trading caravan. 18 brigands, plethora of thugs, and poachers. It's like probably like 14 thugs. Bourbon down. I don't think we want to take that on. We are fully repaired. But I don't want to press our luck. We're going to move back north, let him take that caravan. Probably could have helped the caravan, and that would have balanced the numbers. But we only work for pay. Like we got another caravan up there. A large party. Could be a party. That's likely who it is, the brigand hunters. I want to unload first. Then we can go manhunting again. Let's see. Relations are open, neutral, friendly, and friendly. We kind of want to get the Hammerstead to unload our loot. I think they will be appreciative of it. Give us good prices. And then we can circle back down and come back around to Tabenmoose. Almost out of ammo as well. Doesn't look like there's a good way through these mountains. Day 30. It's about to pass. Get out of these rocky hills and get a little quicker. This is around where we started in the first episode. We did a couple of quests around those white goat mounds. Started getting friendly with Hammerstead. Let's cross through and go cash in. And I think we're going to be about 2 hours in. We may call this stream to a conclusion. Once again, I push them all to both VOD and Twitch, but also they eventually land on YouTube, where there's some not good. I think since we can maintain a firm degree of cravenness, we're going to slip out of town. Militia backs us up. Let's go see if Hammerstead would be interested in our goods. Ooh, they are not. Besides our wood and our peat. Oh no, they give us good prices on everything but tin. because it's a mining town. Already? The tin isn't that special. Dude, there's no buffs or debuffs on the town. We have an armor. There's a pretty goat. Thank you. Prices are a little high. Anything decent marketplace. Basic metal shirt would be a bump for some of the guys. Rusted kettle helm could be a bump. We could also move up to a hunting bow, though we have buffs on short bow for both of our bowmen. Not sure it pays. Could re-armor ammunition. We can restock a little bit. We're going to sell off everything we're going to get some above normal profit on. That gives us a fair bit of cash. We'll hold on to the rest. They're selling goods above market, so not a great deal of interest there. Look at our frontliners and what we have. Yeah, that kettle helm would be an upgrade for any of the three frontline guys. See if there's anybody we want to hire first. I always like wild men. Odo the Caravan hand. Would be useful to pull in an apprentice. We're going to see what Odo's skills are. Got an iron jaw. He's got sure footing, initiative, and range skill, along with a minor buff on hit points. Not a bad spread. Let's see, card has brute, superstitious, lumbering. I don't like the guys being any slower than necessary. If we were to bring on a guy, I think it would be Odo in this mix. He's got decent equipment off the bat, so we wouldn't have to spend too much to equip him. In addition, he could end up being a backline guy with his range skill and his initiative. We sort of are in need of a frontline guy a bit more at the moment, but it wouldn't be the worst thing. We don't have a ranged weapon that's that sling to give him. I think we are going to pick up Kettle Helm. Look in the armor. See if we can get a second one. Quite a bit more expensive, not rusted. Could get a buff for some of our equipment. Maybe best to do a quest or two. See if we can get the prices down a little bit more. Not sure that we would. I think I like the idea of going Goblin. He's been doing well for us to get the Kettle Helm. 40, 50. I'm going to go ahead and bring Odo onto the party. We need to expand our numbers a little bit more, since we can have up to 10 at the moment. So he's a back range guy, but he doesn't have good range skill yet. A decent melee defense. We're going to drop him backline. We're going to give him the Warfork. Going to toss the fully repaired Mechaton hat on him. Base layer. His base layer is a blacksmith apron, so we're going to give him the Southern Split Gambeson. Added leather on top. Let's see what the contracts are before we decide. You look out Bosun of Hammerstead's window and watch the men load a few wagons with goods. Bosun of Hammerstead joins you, 2 goblets of wine in hand. You take one and drink it all in one swig, and the man stares at you. That wasn't cheap. You're supposed to enjoy it. You shrug. Sorry, can I have another to get it right? Bosun of Hammerstead turns around and goes to his desk. So I need a caravan guarded to Steinberg. It's 4 days to the southeast of here. Pretty simple, right? There's plenty of crowns in it if you're interested. How many are we talking about? Judging from your experience, this is a good payment for the task. You get 1,000 when it's done. I want to get paid by the head. We get 12 crowns per 30. That's a bit of an improvement, but not much. We had to kill 30. Need to be paid more. I don't think so. The offer still stands. We need some time to think about it because we don't know where Steinberg is, I believe. The second contract, a bird is perched on Bosun of Hammerstead's window and the man seated points at it. I wonder if that's how they got in. The brigands, I mean. They must have snuck through a window and then right back out. That's how they got away with my crystal skull. The man slowly rises and stalks about the room. He crouches about, ready to pounce on the bird, but the creature scatters before the man can so much as flinch. Damn. He returns to his seat, wiping his hands as if he's worked up a sweat during his attempted avian ambush. My task is simple, Sellsword. Bring my property back to me. Kill the brigands too, if you wouldn't mind. Stock pay. I know adequate compensation. We'll get 760 when it's done. Give us a bit more. Let's get this over with quickly. 880 when the contract is done. We're going to accept that offer. So we're going to take that on immediately. And I think we're well enough equipped to go off and do it. We could do a bit of retooling. For the moment, we're just going to grab an extra batch of 50 ammunition. And we're going to go off in search of the crystal skull. Hagop asks you to enter Brawler the War Dog into a local fighting circle. That sounds like an awful idea, but the man goes on to explain that a lot of money stands to be made in dog fighting. All the dog handler needs is an ante of 200 crowns. Yeah, I think I like our dog. He's been with us fairly long now. Doesn't look like we're going to catch these guys by nightfall. Turn it north. Many brigand thugs, some poachers, and a war dog shall die in the snow. Brigands, just as your employer had thought, they looked scared, presumably understanding that Bosun of Hammerstead's well-paid wrath is about to descend upon them. But it is. So they have 4 archers. We are going to advance. I thought for a second they were going to try to hold their ranged advantage. Nice spear wall. He gets his dogfight. I'm going to try to stop the flank that they're trying here. These two guys are probably some of the more dangerous in the group. Spear wall broke. Tom may get surrounded. Broken one of their men. Our dog may die, so I'm going to go try to defend the hound. Nice shot by Croaker. First full arm success. Nice combination. Keep moving Haggap up. Ooh, that looks like it got a nice headshot. Yep. Move up to engage. If we can finish that guy, great. Hopefully the hound will chase down some of the fleeing archers. Shot. Nice hit. Pierces his arm. Way out of range of the crossbow. Elmo finishes him. Should be able to get close enough to get him while he flees. I'm going to run him down. I think the dog should help us kind of finish it. Figured that last move was going to break him. Yep, the dog mauling him does. Now he's surrounded. Pretty clean victory. Goblin took a little bit of chicken, but Hagop took the worst. Because we got flanked and they got at him a bit. Fair bunch of bows out of the mix. A Gambison, but I think we're already all Gambisoned up. We'll take it. Battle is over, and then we retrieve the crystal skull from the wasted clutches of your enemies and prepare to return to Bosun of Hammerstead. You'll surely be happy to see of your success. So we shall take the Black Company back to get our just rewards. We went super low on provisions. I think some rotted out. I don't think we ended up with anything all that interesting. Mark a fair bit of this for cycling. We'll rest overnight. Clean that up. Other jackets and tunics. We will hold on to a Gambison for the next gent we pick up. Might be able to sell those tip staffs, probably not. Decent. Nice. Spend some time. Bosun of Hammerstead takes the crystal skull from you, hugging it as close as though he's retrieved a lost child. His eyes get a little teary just looking at his artifacts. Thank you, Sellsword. This means a lot to me. I mean, the town. You have our gratitude. He pauses as you stare at him. His eyes bounce to a corner of the room. Our gratitude, Sellsword. A large wooden chest is opened by a guard, and you count the crowns and go. Regain 80. New contract came available while we were out. We're going to sell off some of the higher priced gear that we don't need. Hold on, one axe. Anything else interesting to pick up? Prices are still a little high. Came down a little bit with our recent success. You need food. Most everything's fairly expensive besides the grain. And the venison's not that bad. Buff up the food stores a bit. And we don't need these extra crows. Check out what the new contract came up with is. Helg of Hammerstein's men are standing around a bit of cargo. Their employer shoos them away when he sees you. Welcome, welcome. Good seeing you. I'm in need of armed guards. To have this here package delivered to a man by the name of Federy the Burgomeister in Tabamus. I reckon it's about a day travel for a company as yours. How interested would you be in doing that for me? Stock cash. 110. We were planning on heading in the direction of Tabamus already. Try to get a little more. It gives us 120. We'll accept that. I think we're going to take that on. This caravan contract. It's not all that certain it wouldn't take us through hostile territory that we might get banged up a bit by the kingdom that doesn't like us. Could bring on a 9th brother to the mix. He's 2nd level. Yeah, so until he gets to 2nd level, we're not going to give him a black company name. Although Odo is pretty close to one already. Ally of the Savage is a new possibility. A wild man. Let's try him out, see what he's got. A good vision. He's afraid of orcs. Really good fatigue. Decent melee buff. Decent ranged defense. The whole not liking orcs thing as we get later in the game seems like an issue. I mean, we are deserters, so we're a band of cravens to begin with. Yeah, I'm not sure we want that buff in addition to the rest of our fearfulness. So we're going to drop into camp overnight so that we can salvage some of the stuff that we got going. 37 hours of salvage. That is a lot. Don't need to put anybody on healing. Get it done. Or repair. Take the new gent and throw him on salvage. We still want to make. We don't really need the food hunting. We can throw Tom Tom. Not going to craft anything this time. So throw one eye on salvage. We'll scout a bit. We'll make some arrows. And that should be good. We're going to jump in camp overnight. Dawn breaks. We made 11 arrows. Hack up field. 21 units of tools out of the equipment. Use 7. You get moving. Still have another night's worth of salvage to do. Probably add bows to the mix. All right, Tabamoose is down here. We could cut cross country again. Kind of seems reasonable. Let's head through. I think we are gonna probably call it after we get there. There's a big band of undead out, probably from out of that watchtower when we came up. Head a little bit southerly and see if we can expose a bit more of the map across the mountains. It's the peaks. Seem to be a way through the mountains. The west. need to find beast to kill. Found that ambition for quite a while now. And, I've only run across one pack. There's something out here that may do the trick. Don't really want to fight it at night. Unholds. I don't know if they pants. I would imagine they count as beasts. But I don't really want the level of injuries that they tend to cause. We're going to circle into Tavern Moose, collect a bit of pay. Federi, the Burgermeister, welcomes you, and a few of his men hurry over to take the cargo. He claps you on the shoulders. I take it your journey went well. You spare him the details and inquire about your pay. Bah, a sellsword through and through. Charm and Sid, get this man what he deserves. One of Federi of Burgermeister's bodyguards walks over and hands you the small chest of crowns. See if they have any interest in our other trades. We pretty much get market for the furs and the ingots. I think we'll take that deal. Can we do anything interesting? Prices are all a little bit up here. Take a look at what they have. They have disappearing villagers. They have a couple of contracts that maybe we can clear that out. Get a little better pricing. I have a beast slayer. You might be interested to get onto the party. They have a hunter. Both these guys might be nice. It looks like our resolve jumped up with our last victory, so we're up to a potential group of 12. So, I think we're going to call it there. Versatile weapon beset with gems from a dead man's hand somewhere away to the southeast. That his grip was like a vice, and then he made a sound, so we ran off. Such nonsense. He looked spooked as hell. Something down to the southeast where we might get a decent bit of gear. We could potentially update Crooker's crossbow. Could have longer term value for us. But I think this is where we're going to call it. It's 2.5 hours into the stream. That's around what I like to try to keep them to. So, if you're watching, appreciate it. I would appreciate the follows on Twitch, or if you're watching this later on VOD or YouTube, likes or subscribes are always nice to know that it's content that people gain some level of enjoyment from watching. I like playing it, so sharing it just seems to go with the territory. Regardless, going to check out. Have a good night. Probably not going to stream again till maybe Saturday or so. Have the day off tomorrow, and so we're going to just try to take it off. Have a good one. See you around.